Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. The retro video game market is a multi-billion-dollar industry. That's right, we make up 14% of the market. I want to welcome you once again to another episode. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing. Go ahead and do that if you haven't done so, if you like these kind of stories. Guys, I'm going to put a link down below to my Substack, which is where I put all the information. You can look up the references. And we're going to look at a couple of things here. We're going to start with, some essential facts about the video game industry. About 191 million, 190.6 million to be exact, people between the ages of 5 and 90 play video games. That's right. That's about 61% of all adults. And many of these adults still love playing physical media. That's right. Do you love your old DVDs, vinyl records, and game consoles? Well, you're not alone. There's plenty of people that do. Now, there was a recent survey that Consumer Affairs did, and it found out that about 14% of people still play their video game consoles, their old video game consoles, right? Classic video games, as you can see right here, make up 14% of what they surveyed. Now, if we take that down, right, and take it into the U.S. market right now, which is a little bit down this year, if we take that, and say it's 14% of the total market, we're looking at 26 million people. To put that in context, the original Xbox only sold 13 million units. So there's a market there. There's a market to be had, and I'm going to make that number the base of future videos. Now, all that I did here, guys, is I put the numbers together based on publicly available information. Some of this stuff is really hard to gather because of the things I'll explain, but we're going to use that figure in order to figure what video game companies can do or market in the future. I'll make that the base for some future videos, but today let's dive into the retro video game market, a multi-billion-dollar industry, and 14% of the total market is a big chunk, let me tell you. And this is a market hidden in plain sight. The retro video game market has never been stronger. Just look at the prices and popularity all over social media and here on YouTube specifically. The market is fascinating and often underrepresented in sales figures of the gaming industry. New releases like AAA titles dominate the headlines, but still, millions of people prefer playing on classic consoles and play retro games. Now, based on the available data, I estimate that the figures that I see publicly, about $3 to $10 billion are probably spent on retro video games. Okay, now of course this is using the database of 14% that Consumer Affairs just put out, and I'm giving myself a 5% margin of error because some of the market can't be accounted for because of personal transactions, eBay's, the internet, conventions, and hardware sales are hard to quantify, of course. Now, what are the numbers behind the retro revival? According to the Entertainment Software Association, approximately 190.6 million Americans play video games as of 2024. This represents 61% of the U.S. population. So most people out there play video games. Consumer Reports survey found that 14% of gamers are still actively using retro game consoles like the NES, Sega Genesis, TurboGrafx, PlayStation, you name it, Dreamcast. Now, applying this percentage to the total gaming population, right, we can estimate that about 26.7 million Americans engage in retro gaming. That is a lot of customers. Like I told you before, the original Xbox only sold 13 million. That's twice as much as that. That's a lot of people that you can market to. Man, that is just a huge chunk of change. With the total U.S. video game content revenue reaching $50.6 billion in 2024, which is a little bit down, and this is where I got the market analysis from Game World Observer. Again, all these links are going to be down below, and you can look at it through my Substack. We estimate that the retro gaming market accounts for approximately $7 billion, $7.08 billion. If spending habits are proportional to the broader gaming community, based on surveys like the one I just mentioned. However, this estimate only accounts for software sales. Software, not hardware, not accessories, not memorabilia, not any of the other stuff that you see in conventions or promoted on social media. Now, for the sake of argument, let's make the market $5 billion at minimum. That's still a lot of money, man. That is a lot of clams, as they say. Now, this is a market that's driven by nostalgia and collecting games. It really is. The resurgence of gaming is fueled by multiple factors: nostalgia, game preservation, increasing value in physical media driven by fans who want to double up these games. And not only that, there's YouTubers promoting it, game hoarders like myself. People ask me, where are you going to sell your games? Never. Many gamers seem to relive. They want to relive their gaming experience from childhood, right? But you can't do that. But there's a fondness for these games. Now, additionally, the rarity and collectivity of these games and the consoles have really driven up prices in recent years, specifically in the last 10, right? So it's not just a pastime. For a lot of people, it's an investment. Not for me. People ask me, when are you going to sell your games? Because we're at the highest of the highest, and I'm like, nope, I'm not in it for that, right? Bury me with my games. All right. Unlike modern digital sales, retro game transactions frequently occur in private, that's what makes it so hard to quantify, guys. Marketplaces, collector forums, retro gaming conventions, and secondhand retailers, right? That's why it's so hard to quantify. So we just kind of have to guesstimate, right? So the decentralized nature of these transactions really make it difficult to track a specific number, right? Like I told you, it can only be around the ballpark. But beyond just games, the hardware factor. So this estimate is just for software. But when you think about how many consoles you need and repair, right? There's a whole market of people that mod consoles, repair consoles, sell consoles, a completely different market that nobody even talks about. It's not tracked anywhere for any reason, right? So you just have to kind of add that to the mix, right? Companies have begun manufacturing a lot of, retro clones, retro hardware. The reason you see a lot there is because they're selling a lot. If they weren't be selling, people wouldn't be making these. That's why they're so popular. You can get retro games in your hand for $50 basically. Now, what is the future of retro gaming? The market that will stand the test of time, in my point of view, right? Looking ahead at the retro gaming market, I think it's poised to maintain its presence in the industry. As people age, right? As people age, you're going to have nostalgia for different consoles. It's going to turn from the NES, just like it's turned to the Super NES, to the GameCube, to Nintendo 64, all those consoles. I can see, in the future, people are going to have, in retirement homes, they're going to have retro game consoles as we get older. Wii is going to be there, for example. Wii bowling, we all know it's going to be there, right? Now, many retro gaming revivals are out there, for one console or another. I think they were always going to remain in this landscape, mostly because it's going to be nostalgia driven. And then when that happens, the collectors often follow, right? The people that just want to, pile games on and see if they can flip them, make a little bit of money. That's just the way it occurs. And I think that this is going to be the case moving forward, but I think there's going to be a whole new factor, which is AI, which is going to help preserve and spread the message of retro gaming to a lot more people. I think it's going to develop a lot more fans. But those are questions and answers that we're going to seek in the future. For now, just know that 26 million players isn't anything to laugh about. There's a market out there. We can make our presence known, and we should, and we're underrepresented. But that's a great opportunity for those of you out there who want to start retro businesses of some sort. This is a good beginning point, so you can start feeling out what kind of market you might have in the future. All right, guys, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for subscribing. Again, I'll put the links down below to my Substack, sign up so you can catch up with everything that I'm writing. You know, a lot of it makes it harder on reading off paper here. That's how I'm able to do these. I type it up, I print it out, and then I have my kiddos load it up to the Substack for me. And you know, this is how we're doing it, man. It's old school. So even the writing of these articles is retro. All right, guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.